Hi, I'm Elaine Harding. Welcome to week 2 of 6 in my 6-week Halloween countdown series. Now for this card, I used Pick of the Patch again. I wanted to show you an alternative, and this time using the blackbird and the trees skeleton. The other item I'm using are actually the alphabet a la mode dies, and I'll need, got it upside down, B, the O, and the exclamation mark, which I think is in here. So I've pre-die cut these. I've already cut out the B, the O. I think I need another O. You need some scraps of silver foil, and only cut as much as you need, because the plates, if you have a heavily marked plate or heavily scarred plate, all the lumps and bumps will show. I'll do that off camera and I'll be back. I'll need the exposed brick 3D embossing folder, tuxedo black pumpkin pie ink, and lemon lolly stamping blends. There's a bit of embossing to do on the front of the card, so you need Versamark ink, metallics embossing powder. We're going to be using the silver one, and a heat tool, and of course your tools additions kit. The card base is pumpkin pie. It's 5 7/8 by 8 1/4, and in metric that's 14.5 by 21 centimeters. Basic black matte layer, and this is 3 3/4 by 5 1/2, and that's 9.5 by 14 centimeters. For the inside of the card, there's a basic white piece, and this is also cut at 3 3/4 by 5 1/2 inches, and in metric that's 9.5 by 14 centimeters. A Daffodil Delight 2-inch square piece to create this window effect. It's easier than trying to cut an aperture with a window frame. There is an option to actually cut a window frame or aperture from the basic black cardstock. It was just simpler to overlay it with the Daffodil Delight cardstock than try to do it on a trimmer. The first thing to do is the embossing. So the embossing buddy, ink it up with Versamark ink, and sprinkle it with silver embossing powder. I've sprinkled it with embossing powder, and I'm just cleaning the excess off. Heat emboss it. Bring in the embossing folder, line it up with the line on the embossing folder, and shut it. Make my embossing sandwich, so you need platform 1, the embossing folder with the cardstock in, the fold as the leading edge, and the grey platform 4. I'll run it through the machine off camera. Glue that to the front of my card, leaving an even border all round. Attach my letters. Now, I left my exclamation mark with the dot and the line inside the die because of placement. Remove the backing tape while it's in situ. I've already done the dot, and I'm going to flip this over, pop them out, And the reason why I leave it inside the die is so that I can get the dot in the right position. Now we want to do our window. So we want the window at an angle. So you just make sure that that is at the top. So this is 2 inches. Line that up at the 1 inch mark. So let's put it down there in line so we know that's definitely 1 inch. Oh no, that's 1 1/4. 1 inch is here. By putting the straight edge at the top, you can measure 1 inch. So this is 1/2 of the window, and that's the other half. So line the straight edge at the top at 1 inch. And that's the other half of the window. So bring in a silicone mat and arrange your window. Now this is the right side up. So we're going to flip this over because you want to apply adhesive on the underside. Okay, so that's the left, that's the right, so don't get them confused. So put a bit of adhesive on there. And I'm going to unscrew the bottom so that I can use the spreader to spread the glue evenly. And I'm going to allow it to dry because I want to reposition it. And while I wait for that to dry, I can do the inside of the card. I'm going to glue that inside because I know I'm not going to be stamping off the card. And then glue that inside and make sure that it's even all the way round. Bring in the stamp and the Tuxedo Black Magenta ink and stamp this tree. Next I want to stamp the raven or crow. Take the Lemon Lolly stamping blend and colour in the eye and the beak. Swap ink pads to pumpkin pie and stamp Happy Halloween. Now this has dried, we'll put this back. Make sure there's enough room. Just remember to keep the lines parallel, okay? I need to scooch it over a bit further. That's why I wanted the glue to dry so that this card would be repositionable. As you never know when you might need to make some minor adjustments. There you go. How quick and easy was this card. So that's week 2, episode 2 of 6 in my 6-week Halloween countdown series. If you like it, do give me a thumbs up and I'll pop back with more inspiration the following week. Thanks for watching. Bye.